Welcome to my world. 2S gotta go, pate, freeze egg, 2 green salads.
Okay, line is up here.
Lamb chop, steak frites. Shouldn't you be doing something? 2 smoked filet and a pepper steak. Come on, make the dessert. Chocolate tart, please.
As a cook, taste and smells are my memories, and now I'm in search of new ones. So I'm leaving New York City and hope to have a few epiphanies around the world, and I'm willing to go to some lengths to do that. I'm looking for extremes of emotion and experience. I'll try anything, I'll risk everything, I have nothing to lose.
Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne, the epicenter of the new frontier, the new Wild West of cooking. This is a place where, well, some pioneers came and created something where before there was nothing.
The potential here has attracted chefs and restaurateurs from near and far, encouraging them to stretch the boundaries of the ever-evolving Australian cuisine.
2 beef, well done, medium rare, veal pitching cream.
And like the American West, it's got a gunslinger attitude towards chefs.
We're rough, very rough around the edges, and that's a good thing about it, you know, but the food is not rough around the edges.
We're crossing tradition with New World in Australia.
A wild and lawless place. Well, okay, maybe not so wild and lawless, but in no place else in the world do chefs enjoy the kind of latitude, the kind of freedom from restriction that this place has. This is a place where the only rule still is to be good, where justice comes not from the barrel of a gun, for the sharp knife, a squeeze bottle, a metal ring, and what's in your heart, what you can do with food.
These culinary early settlers that paved the way, were they pressed onward by potential for riches, driven forward by an unbridled passion for creating great food in restaurants? Absolutely. Perched on a small hill overlooking a valley carpeted with grapevine sits a somewhat imposing little house on the prairie. It's the home of restaurateur and winemaker Monty DeStasio, an early pioneer in the Melbourne food scene.
Because our culture is such a young one, we don't have any guidelines, so we're free. We're developing our culture.
Ronnie recognized Melbourne's potential early on, opening Cafe DeStasio in what was once the middle of nowhere.
Salve. Salve.
He is a food baron who knows how to enjoy himself. Today he's hosting a lunch at his country home, and the guests include some fellow pioneers, who are, by the way, some of Australia's greatest chefs.
So more than fusion, it's about evolution here in this country, you know?
Neil Perry, chef-owner of Rockpool Restaurant.
We got passion, you can't run the restaurant.
Tetsuya Wakuda, chef-owner of the world-famous Tetsuya.
We're trying actually to change the face of the restaurant business in this country.
And Armando Percoco, chef-owner of One Ricordo. Here you've got chefs drawing on influences and product from all over the Pacific Rim and Asia, and restaurateurs with unbridled ambition, always looking to keep old customers and make new ones.
We've got Asians, we've got Europeans, we've got the stuff growing in the ground here.
We have the local customer who's patronizing us all the time, and we have to look after very much this customer, otherwise you're losing your job around.
Yes. Do you think chefs listen to what the market is enough?
If you want to make money and stay in business and employed as a chef, you have to.
The market is God, because it's the market that enables me to do Italian food. However, if the market swings tomorrow and they want Indian, tomorrow morning I will wear a turban and it'll be tandoor chicken, because I want to stay in business running a restaurant.
No,
that's what
I don't believe you.
No,
I don't believe you.
Believe me.
This is an opinionated group, and they have every right to be. Their food, their hard work, talent has changed the world around them. If you're thinking it's just shrimp on the Barbie around here, you should be kicked in the head, mate.
We are really comfortable with everything that we do here. We're really relaxed. We're not trying to be anybody else but ourselves.
With all respect of the Italians and the French, that means we have a fantastic food in this country.
We've got a little bit more to go to understand that for passion, and that's what we put in. I mean, we really put our on the line.
I'm not kissing your here. I seriously, I would eat in Melbourne before Paris. Any day. Any day.
Salute.
Nice
to meet you.
Ma quando mangiamo? Let's go. Hey, quando mangiamo?
Ah, the joys of a simple rustic lunch with a few friends.
This business has always attracted a certain type of person who's passionate about something already.
We have a common denominator.
First up, homemade chicken and veal-filled cappelletti with chicken broth.
I mean, it's like one big inbred hillbilly family. We've all had each other's sisters.
Yeah, indeed. The one of them, just we have.
No, we all steal. I don't mean steal, but you're influenced by those who came before you.
Yes, influence. No, that's beautiful. Influencing by other chefs.
No one is more passionate about food, or life for that matter, than people in the restaurant business.
I have to work we put together
Right.
Secondi, uccelli al forno, quail and spatchcock, which is 3-week-old chicken, oven roasted with grapevine leaves, garlic, rosemary, and olive oil.
Yes, I love this. Look at the grape leaves. Very good.
You know what I said before about the Indian turban? Forget it. I just do it for the fun. I just do it, forget it. Well,
Finally, the main course, cinghiale con radicchio, slowly cooked boar with wine, sage, and apples, with wilted radicchio.
Anthony, what do you think of my wine? It's the 2001 vintage. Yeah, that's what you're drinking.
I knew before I came to Australia that Australian wine was good. I knew it was really, really good. I had no idea how good until this moment. It's what the French call terroir. Okay, because it's not just what you're eating. It's not just what you're drinking. It's who. It's who.
I can't talk. I'm going to cry. Salve.
I'm just happy to be in this group's company, enjoying some really fine Australian food and wine. As I expressed explicitly to him, if someday Don DeStasio calls upon me to do him a favor, I will definitely be there.
Life is good. I'm happy.
I mean, it kind of looks like the Great American West, doesn't it? You know, when you're talking about new frontiers of food, this fits right into our theme. It looks like the cowboy country. We even got cows. Or is that a steer? How if I know? Let me see. Yeah, steer. To have a gold rush, you need gold. To have a foodie gold rush, you need raw ingredients and people who know what to do with them. We're going to talk to Richard Thomas today, who is responsible for a large sector of that good ingredient.
There's no room for compromise or mistake, is the way I see it.
Richard makes cheese, and he has some passionate views on the subject of cheese. In fact, this is sort of a pet project, pet passion of mine, the whole safety versus flavor issue, and I'm sure he has a lot to say on that.
Welcome to our humble cheese factory.
Richard is the wild man of Australian cheese. He's been passionate about cheese making for over 30 years.
1971, backyard in a working class suburb in Melbourne, and I just bought a piece of Gorgonzola del Gelato. It was a changing point in my life. I went from scientist to cheesemaker without even having a choice in the matter.
Ever wondered, what do I want to do with my life? Meet a man who knows what he wants.
So what are we making here?
We're making bocconcini here. What's happening here is the cheese has been fermented by quite a natural process. When it arrives at exactly that spot, and Joe knows when that is, he dumps pieces of curd into the boiling water, at which point it's stretched, and you get the strands of protein. When they're at the right consistency, the machine fires up and you'll see it moulds the cheese into small balls, a work usually done by hand.
he's the master. Cheese master.
Want to get a good cheesemaker excited? Ask him about pasteurized cheese.
I usually kiss people that ask me that question. It first of all destroys all of the range of flavour-producing bacteria that come naturally in the milk.
Well, you know, bacteria is not a bad thing. The story of food is a story of fermentation, rot, and gamesmanship with those dark forces. If you're ever exposed to no bacteria on a regular basis, when you eventually are exposed, you will, of course, get ill. I mean, if you live in a hygienic, shrink-wrapped world and then travel to Mexico and have a decent taco in a street stand, one of life's great pleasures, by the way, you will, of course, fall ill because you're not used to it.
There's very powerful resistance to making raw milk cheeses in this country.
As in America, it's technically illegal.
You virtually nowadays have to break the law to really enjoy yourself. The greatest cheeses in the world, undeniably, are made from raw milk. I get a kind of madman, maverick type of reputation. You know, I can't compromise on flavour, for example, in cheese, and this is why I get angry with those people that would want to crush the flavour out of everything that we do. Flavour is the essence of food.
Richard knows what he's talking about, and I think he's absolutely right about everything. This is the kind of intensity and focus behind every great ingredient, every great chef, and a lot of great meals.
This is the most delicate of all cheeses, the goat fromage blanc. A vital part of good cheese making is the gentle way, and particularly goat milk, the way you handle the curd. Right. Everything has to happen slowly. Only people with the greatest of confidence can have the courage to serve something very, very simple.
Ah, fresh bocconcini.
Doesn't come any fresher than that, I can tell you. Still warm.
Oh, it's lovely.
The future for our cheeses is really to pump more flavour into them, to get them to always have the aim of looking at what the best that is around and saying, let's try and equal that.
This is a guy not just fighting to win, but a guy fighting for what he really believes in.
The last frontier, as far as I'm concerned, is that of fermented foods. My responsibility is to continue to push those boundaries of flavour.
Richard's not alone in his unflinching pursuit of flavor. There are others. Melbourne seems to attract them.
Don't think in only money, money, money. Only thinking to do the right things. And that is good for everybody.
Like Angel Cardozo, a former NASA engineer turned jamon and sausage maker.
20 years took me to the prosciutto. I'm making the ham, the dry jamon.
The operations center is in the basement of his home.
To do this type of food, you have to be out of industrials, factories.
Only open air from the windows is used in the curing process.
And it's the only way to get the natural taste. Anyway, come into the room here, first, and after I show you another one. Look the aroma, the smell.
Oh, look at this. This is jamon, the Spanish version, frankly the better version of Italian prosciutto.
Look at these. My God. I love the smell in here, too.
These ones was the first ones I started making in Australia. Very good, because this is no cholesterol.
Angel tells me that jamon, when it's been cured for over a year, has no cholesterol.
Very good for our health.
Did I hear that right? No cholesterol in year-old cured meats?
Americans are very afraid of fat.
If it's not fat, it's not taste.
Yeah, and no texture, nothing. Well, that's something very special, isn't it? Well, that's good. Great taste, nice smell.
The fat for me is the best.
Yeah, me too.
Speaking of fat, a little something to eat. Homemade salami, jamon with melon, and a Spanish tortilla, an omelet with potato, onion, and chorizo.
Real flavor. Yeah. The fruits of over 20 years of hard work.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to be great before we even sat down. This is the way heaven should look, you know, lots of beautiful pork products hanging from hooks.
Never mind heaven. It should look like this on Earth all the time. You know the old wives' tale, young gunslingers don't make good chefs? It ain't true.
Even though I'm an old fart myself, I guess my sympathies are always going to lie with the young Turks.
One lad got me in the claw.
2 dory, 1 veal, 1 beef medium rare, 1 spinach.
Husband and wife team Donovan and Philippa Cook are the new guard. They're doing some extraordinary work at Melbourne's On Bean restaurant.
Smash, tall-lady quail, chicken veal.
What are we going on next, please?
Both Philippa and Donovan were classically trained in France and England.
Where I come from, it's fish and chips. None of this.
I think Donovan is a natural, a genius.
Are we dressing here or what?
His sauces are second to none.
We need to move it now, huh? We're going to go down, kids.
Tonight, Donovan is short-staffed. Philippa is having dinner with me.
So out of here.
It's a really rowdy bunch out here. There is this sort of Wild West gunslinger sort of new frontier thing going on here that I find really refreshing.
It's a performance in the chef's style.
These two are sourcing the best ingredients Australia has to offer and using techniques both classic and new.
What gets them in the door the first time is the chef. Obviously, what keeps them coming back is the food. You know, in certain other cities where chefs are rushing to get hairstylists and voice coaches and media trainers and elocution teachers, I don't see a lot of that here. Can you see Donovan being packed off to media training?
Scorch your spinach. Do you want to season them then or what? Send it. Off that to your section. Are you going to answer me? Where is it?
When I first met Donovan, I thought he was quite cosmopolitan and quite so sophisticated, but it's only because I didn't understand what he's saying.
Well, as soon as we've got them entrees out of the way, well, let's start banging some men down. All can go down, eh? You know what I mean?
No, I don't fully understand what he's saying, but I do know that he speaks through his food. His talent is in combining new and unexpected ingredients and flavors. Case in point, first course, which marries 3 different appetizers to 3 different champagnes.
What we're having here is an oyster, truffle and lettuce soup. That goes with the Australian spacken, which is called curry. Followed by a tartare of confit tomato and apple with a yabby, which is a little crayfish. And then the last one there is a quail's egg, quail jelly with a foie gras cream.
It is beautiful. I have a thing for quail eggs. This is food that comes out of the French system. But, you know, we're looking at yabbies here. Would you describe it as French food, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, I would describe it as modern French.
Isn't
So
it?
we're trying not to describe it also. We're doing our own thing. We're doing what we like to eat. And we're doing what we're good at.
Every sauce here is cooked, produced, finished to order.
Sauces, made to order. That's the essence of the kind of 2- and 3-star joints these two come from.
I understand that every time I pick up a chef's knife, that I owe everything to centuries of French trial and error and tradition. Donovan was an immediate, good guy to me because he's of that system and yet in front of that system by his very un-Frenchness.
Now, I told you we're going on this table fast.
The fact that he's not ready for prime time resonates with my own shameful sellout.
This is Tony's next course. The courgette flower, or zucchini, whatever you call them in your country. Stuffed with prawn and horseradish farce, diced tomatoes, tiny basil leaves, and a tomato consomme. Poured at the table.
This is beautiful. It's just fantastic flavor.
What we're having now is smoked barramundi, which is steamed. We do it ourselves. Parsley essence, crispy pancetta, snails, confit shallots, little sauteed potatoes, with an egg poached in red wine.
Eggs poached in red wine. I didn't see that coming.
It's beautiful. God, look at that. Unbelievable. And I just slide the egg first, it runs all over them. Oh, yes. It's pornographic, isn't it? It is extraordinary. It's all the things I love about a dish. It's new, it references the classics. It's a local fish, and there's bacon involved.
This is the main course now, pigeon. We're trying to braise the mushrooms rather than saute them so they go crispy, so they're nice spongy texture. So all we've got here is some truffle that I got before. I preserved them, reduce it, finish with a teaspoonful of cream. So what we've got is pigeon, celery gnocchi, fricassee mushrooms, Perigord sauce, and a shiitake foam.
Wow. Oh, that is extraordinary. Plump, red, juicy, delightful, studded with truffles. Things could be a lot worse. I'm running out of adjectives. I mean, Jesus, it's... I've used ethereal, magnificent, extraordinary, fantastic, delightful. Yep, sublime works for me.
All right, I'm out of adjectives and I still have one more course to go.
It's all the main course for the way, and I just got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entrees tonight. Let's go, let's get the garnishes.
Time for the final course, and this is all Philippa's department.
I do the pastry stuff because he doesn't have to.
Beautifully conceived and executed desserts. Like the pyramid of strawberry sorbet.
I'm doing a pyramid. This is nougatine. It's made with fondant and almonds, which gets placed on the outside. And it's filled with almond parfait glacé with raspberries and strawberries.
That's beautiful. It's got a Pink Floyd crash into this, you know, it really is. Oh, man. It's beautiful. This is one of those kill me now desserts.
This is normal white fondant, caramelised really slowly, and then poured over toasted almonds and flash it in the oven so that it melts. It's really
Yeah, but really tastes good. So many pastry chefs would. This would be construction material for them and not something utterly delicious. And beautiful. So good.
These two truly deserve to be recognized, so take notice.
Let's go see El Jefe.
How was pigeon like that?
It was sublime. Worth a 20-hour flight from New York just for this. There's a special place in heaven for you, man. You're getting in.
Melbourne, Australia, the final frontier. Like the American West, it's a place where you can come from far away and reinvent yourself. And like the American West, it's got good stuff waiting for people to discover.
There may be no other place in the English-speaking world where chefs and food are so enthusiastically embraced as this place right now.
I think it's one of the most exciting places to eat, and certainly one of the most exciting places to cook on this planet.